A new battlefront has opened up, where well-equipped soldiers, with thermal cameras and night vision goggles, fire rocket launchers and kamikaze drones at their opponents. These are soldiers from the Russian Wagner Group, and they are about to be attacked by Ukrainian soldiers. In this other video, you can see a Wagner Group soldier captured with soldiers from Sudan. On another front, another Wagner Group soldier was also captured.
Russia no! Russia no! Wagner no!
If you map where these conflicts took place, it is not difficult to see that they are in African countries. The conflict between Russia and Ukraine may be spreading across the African continent. And the question is, has a new front been opened on the African continent? What is happening between Ukraine and Russia on the African continent? On July 25th last year, Tuareg separatists attacked a Malian army camp in the Tinzaouaten region in the north of the country. The attack lasted 3 days and resulted in the deaths of 47 Malian soldiers and at least 84 Afrika Korps, formerly Wagner Group fighters. Days later, photos appeared on the internet showing the rebels celebrating their victory against government forces and holding Ukrainian flags. These photos quickly went viral. Some analysts say it was obvious that external forces participated in that attack, causing heavy casualties to the Wagner Group. The operation was carefully planned, based on accurate information about the group's movements. 4 days after the attack began, the spokesman for the Ukrainian military intelligence agency GWAR, or DIU, Andriy Yusov, told the public broadcaster Suspiln,
the fact that the rebels received the necessary information that allowed them to conduct a successful operation against Russian war criminals, the whole world has already seen this. In principle, this can be commented on. We certainly will not disclose any details, but let's say there will be a continuation.
I think he forgot about the Malian soldiers who were there, but this and other comments were widely seen as confirmation of his country's support for this attack. But that wasn't all. The Ukrainian embassy in Senegal, which also covers Guinea, Guinea-Bissau, Ivory Coast, and Liberia, posted a video on Facebook featuring Andriy Yusov's words, and Ambassador Yuri Pivovarov showed his approval with his comments. This was not well received by some African leaders. But Mali is not the only country where Ukrainian special forces are operating outside their country. Check this out. And in February of the same year, the Kyiv Post reported that Ukrainian special forces were operating in Sudan, supporting the Sudanese armed forces SAF against Wagner forces aligned with the Rapid Support Forces RSF. But why would Ukraine do that? After all, it seems more sensible to redirect these resources back to the battlefield in their own country, doesn't it? But Ukraine's leadership does this because it had 3 objectives. The first was to maintain hope and boost morale. Suffering heavy losses over a long period of time can erode the morale of soldiers, new recruits, and the population. Attacking Russia on other fronts and achieving positive results shows that Russia is not invincible and, above all, renews everyone's hope. And this is easy to see in the reactions of Ukrainians when they defeat the Wagner Group.
Slava Ukraini!
The second objective was to damage the reputation of the Wagner Group. The Wagner Group has a reputation for being efficient and effective. And although this defeat does not greatly damage its reputation on the continent, it does affect the perception that the group is invincible. The third reason is perhaps the most important of all. Ukraine wanted to prove that it is a country that still deserves support. What does this mean? Let's see. Last year, several countries held elections, and there was a change in those in power. Ukraine needed to show that it is a strong country in order to continue to receive support.
And your support is crucial, not just to stand in such fight, but to get to the turning point, to win on the battlefield.
After all, no country will indefinitely help another country that it perceives as having lost or having nothing to gain. Not to mention the most important elections from Ukraine's point of view, which were the elections in the United States of America.
And I hope that if people of America will vote for President Trump, I hope that his policy with Ukraine will not change.
With all this, Ukraine seems not to have taken into account all the possible consequences of its actions on the African continent, and it may be creating enemies where none existed before. Pay attention to this. In March 2022, most of the 54 countries on the African continent avoided taking sides in the war between Russia and Ukraine. This neutrality extends to almost half of the African countries that abstained from the UN General Assembly resolution condemning Russia for its invasion of Ukraine. The same happened during the Assembly's resolution suspending Russia from the Human Rights Council and a resolution demanding that Russia pay war reparations to Ukraine. This forced Kiev to realize how few allies it had on the continent. Kiev began to strive to strengthen its alliances with African countries by expanding its grain shipment program and nearly doubling its embassies in Africa. Between August 4th and 8th last year, Ukrainian Foreign Minister Dmytro Kuleba made a diplomatic trip to Malawi, Zambia, and Mauritius. This shows how committed Kiev is, but all this commitment may have been tarnished by the events of a few days earlier. After all, it had not even been a week since Andriy Yusov had said that his country had helped a terrorist organization in acts against the Malian government. After the publication on the Facebook page of the Ukrainian embassy in Dakar and a comment by the ambassador himself, the Malian government was enraged. After all, they had suffered great losses of life, and shortly thereafter, on August 3rd, 2024, the Senegalese Ministry of Foreign Affairs issued the following statement: "Our country, which rejects terrorism in all its forms, cannot accept on its territory, under any circumstances, comments or gestures in favor of terrorism, especially when the latter aims to destabilize a country such as Mali." The Ukrainian ambassador in Dakar was summoned to the Ministry of African Integration and Foreign Affairs, where he was reminded of the obligations of discretion, restraint, and non-interference that must accompany the seriousness and solemnity of his mission. It was here that Pivovarov's comments began to have negative effects. And on August 4th last year, Mali broke off diplomatic relations with Ukraine, accusing it of helping terrorists, whom the Malian army has been fighting to expel from its borders. Pivovarov promptly deleted his social media posts about Mali, but this act was seen as an acknowledgement of his great mistake. Mali government spokesman Amadou Abdrahmanish announced in a televised statement that his country would ask the UN Security Council to discuss Ukraine's aggression. The next day, three important things happened. First, the Ukrainian Foreign Ministry said that Mali had severed relations without conducting a thorough examination of the facts and circumstances and without providing any evidence of Ukraine's involvement. Kiev criticized Mali's action as short-sighted and hasty. Second, the Economic Community of West African States issues a statement expressing its strong disapproval and condemnation of any foreign interference in the region that threatens peace and security in West Africa, as well as any attempt to draw the region into current geopolitical confrontations. Thirdly, the Chargé d'Affaires of Mali's mission to the UN, Yahya Habib Sissoko, sent a letter to the rotating president of the UN Security Council, declaring his intention to sever ties with Ukraine and requesting that his letter be distributed to other members of the Council. On August 6th, Niger also announced the severance of diplomatic relations with Ukraine, with immediate effect, in solidarity with Mali, also accusing Kiev of supporting terrorist groups in Mali. 2 days later, a statement from the Ukrainian Foreign Ministry denounced Niger's accusations, calling them unfounded and false. It also rejected the allegations of support for international terrorism and violation of the UN Charter and international law. Although no concrete evidence has been revealed or presented, and there are no details on how and when such military coordination was established between Ukraine and the separatists in Mali, Yusuf's comments sparked a series of explosive diplomatic disputes. Yusuf's comments, along with those of Pivoravov in his now deleted posts, where he said, "The work will continue, there will certainly be other results," have sparked concerns in other parts of the Sahel region that the Russia-Ukraine war is spreading to the continent, raising fears that parts of Africa could become a proxy war zone for Russia and Ukraine. Our video ends here. See you in our next conversation. Take care.